Hey everyone, welcome to my ride review of the Arctic Leopard Yunbao. This is meant to be a quick review, but honestly, it turned out quite long. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride with me. First, a funny story. See these gloves? Well, now there's only one. When I arrived, I had both. But while I was parked on the roadside, a herd of cows walked past my bike, and one of them literally ate my right glove. Yes, you heard that right. It chewed it up like a snack. So now, I'm riding with just the left glove. Please hit that like button to help me recover from the tragedy. I'll need to buy a new pair. It's the weekend, and I came out here into the mountains alone to test the Yunbao. This bike already has about 244 kilometers on it. My very first impression? One word, powerful. I've ridden a Sur-Ron Light Bee for 6 years, over 15,000 kilometers on the dash, so I'm not new to lightweight electrics. But this thing? One word, brutal. There are 4 power gears. Honestly, second gear covers about 60% of normal riding. I use third for the steeper climbs, fast hill tacks, or when I'm jumping. Fourth is basically road only. On tarmac it rockets to around 100 kilometers per hour in a blink. I hit 100 and backed off. It yanks you forward with savage acceleration. Compared to gas bikes that build power smoothly, an electric's linear ramp here is very short, so it feels explosive. That also means you must think ahead on braking. At those acceleration levels, your decibel window shrinks. Surprises can outpace your stopping distance. Ride accordingly. Size and fit. I considered the Ultra Bee, but I'm 1.73m and that one had me on tiptoes. The Cloud Leopard, even in Pro S trim, lets me flat foot both sides, similar to a Light Bee but a touch taller. It honestly feels like a grown-up Light Bee. Weight memory check. Light Bee 50 plus kg, Cloud Leopard 70 kg-ish. Look up exact spec. It rides light and flickable for the power it has. Brakes and wheels. Stock brake feel is fine, middle of the road, not weak, not grabby. Front wheel is 19-inch. I've already swapped to big tooth off-road tires front and rear. I'd prefer a 20-inch or 21 front for more rollover, steamroller, confidence. Rear is now 18. The 19-inch front feels a bit small when you're trying to flatten rough terrain. Dash and setup. The dash is English only. Not a big deal. Set your boot password and you're done. Suspension. Out of the box, the suspension feels like it's trying to please 2 worlds. Flat track sliders and jumpland heavy hitters. In slow, technical single track, the fork feels stiff, especially for my weight. About 61 kilograms / 135 pounds at 1.73m. Rear shock is better, but the stock KKE spring is 350 pounds. I'd like to move to 300 pounds for more compliance. Up front, I'll likely soften the spring rate, refresh oil and seals, and target better ground tracking for low-speed enduro. Range. With my riding style, battery used is roughly 1% per kilometer. So a full charge nets 90, 100 km for me. That's excellent. For reference, my Light Bee with a third-party high-capacity pack does 50 km. The Cloud Leopard basically doubles that, exactly what I always wanted. Light Bee feel with 50% more punch and 2 times the range. Linkage play, problem and fix. You may have seen complaints about play in the linkage/dock bone. I had it too, noticeable at the upper link pivots when the bike arrived. Here's what solved it. The main through bolt on the linkage wasn't torqued from the factory. After 100-200 km, the nut had literally backed off. I drilled access holes in the side covers so I can quickly check and snug the nut. The manufacturer sent a set of 5 tighter tolerance bushings for the dog bone. Swap them in, play is essentially gone. My take, this was more assembly discipline than design failure. Once torqued correctly and with better bushings, the issue disappeared in my case. On brand wars. I own both families, the Sur-Ron/Cholong Camp and this Cloud Leopard. Each has strengths. New products always go through iterations. Calling anything trash except for power is lazy. Point out flaws, fix what you can, ride what fits your terrain and style. No bike is perfect. Don't feed the outrage machine. It just creates heat, not trails. Terrain and local fit. Where I ride, I can choose easy to high difficulty lines. Shade/no shade, open/wet, plenty of options. The Cloud Leopard's versatility here is strong thanks to its range and punch. At 250 kilometers in, I'm planning targeted tweaks. Rear spring 300 pounds for my weight. Softer fork setup for low-speed compliance and better, stick-to-ground, feel. Practical notes and suggestions. Mud fling is wild. The battery cavity and linkage pivot get showered. I'd love a stock mud curtain like the Light Bee, simple, flexible rubber sheets anchored top and bottom. Cleaner, happier bearings, longer life, less washing, tire pressure warning. With this much torque, don't run the super low pressures you might run on a Light Bee unless you've done mousse, foam, or true anti-pinch solutions. I snapped the tube valve stem on my first hard launch. Better to run a bit more PSI and get home. Summary. Pros: terrifying acceleration, friendly seat height, light feel, and genuinely solid real-world range, 90-100 km the way I ride. Cons: fork too stiff for lighter riders stock, front 19-inch feels small, factory assembly/torque QC needs attention, but fixable, needs better stock mud protection. I'm not here to do lab coat testing. I just like to share what I feel on the trail. For me, the Cloud Leopard finally hits that dream spec. Big Light Bee, with way more shove and double the range. If you've had anxiety from forum noise, breathe. Fix the few weak points, tune for your weight, and ride. If you want wins, prove it on the trail or at the track, not in the comments. That's it for today, long for a short review, I know. Thanks for your time. I'll keep riding, wrenching, and sharing. Like, comment, and subscribe. This is AdmitJet. See you next time.